Hello, you testers. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my tutorial on Pytest framework. Today, we are going to develop a script on a very simple Pytest framework. I believe you remember I developed very short tutorial courses on Pytest, especially on Java with Selenium, Selenium with Java, and Selenium with Python 2 or 3 years ago. After a long break, today I'm going to share some tutorials on Pytest framework, as it is the most popular test framework in current software development and testing industry. I will also share with you BDD Behave framework. BDD Behave framework is just similar to BDD Cucumber with Gherkin framework in Java programming. All right. Let's see what test case we are taking to develop this very simple Pytest framework. It's not advanced level of framework. You can say intermediate level. And step by step, I will also show you how we can develop very robust and very advanced level Pytest framework. After next test framework, I will show you also very advanced level Pytest framework. Let's today see the very basic to intermediate level framework. Okay, so what are the test cases? Test case 1 is open Chrome browser. Step 2 is navigate to https://utest.com. Then step 3, click on login button, enter correct username, enter correct passcode meaning password, click on sign in. Okay, sign in button, it can be sign in button, print title, close the test. Actually, it's very simple. If we want, actually we can do here asset also. Okay, we will learn step by step, don't worry. If you are very new to Selenium with Python or Pytest, you can just go to our learning section in Pytest. Let's go to Pytest. Okay, this is login and this is username and password. Let's go to Academy, and there are a lot of trainings on software testing. If you really want to start a freelancing career, you can start learning today and working tomorrow. Okay, those who are watching this test framework on YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. If you want to watch such a beautiful tutorials in future, and those who are with Pytest, I will request you to visit my my YouTube channel too. And where is community? Just here. Okay, community. Okay, and where are trainings? If we go here, if we go to forum, I guess we can actually search. If I click on articles, even and then search Selenium with Python. Anyone interested sharing views on Python Selenium? 8 months ago. Okay. Best programming language learned to testing QA: Selenium, WebDriver, Java, Selenium, Python for Dummies, how Python can help with testing. Right here, what programming language does you test most, or not this one? Selenium with Java tutorial. I prepared this. Actually, I'm looking for Selenium with Python. Where is it? Right here, Selenium with Python tutorial series. If you click here, you can find a very brief tutorial on Python. Okay, then Selenium with Python from scratch, actually. Okay, so I will request you, those who are newbie, please go through these tutorials before you start learning Pytest framework. Okay, though it's not necessary, and in the second test case we have almost same, just we are entering here correct username and incorrect password. Okay, and we can do it vice versa. We can enter here incorrect and here correct passcode too in another test cases. I don't want to take too much time. I want to complete within 1.5 hours. Okay, in your project maybe you are getting 1 week or 2 weeks to complete this framework. Okay, so relax and keep enjoying. Let me open a PyCharm. PyCharm is IDE. IDE meaning Integrated Development Environment. Okay, where we will code our test scripts. Okay, and I want to open end-to-end Pytest framework. Okay, it's a project, and inside this project I have actually Pytest Pytest framework. Okay, couple of Pytest framework. Anyway, I want to create a very project from scratch. Click on File, create new project, and I name it Pytest end to end. Okay, I can name it actually end-to-end framework, and I want to open in a new window. Okay, and I want to create a new file. I can open a new file from here and with Python file. If I open from here, I have to use .py extension, and if I create new file from here, I don't need to put extension, automatically it will be created. So I want to show from here, and I name it test underscore utest login.py, say for example. Okay, now remember, in Pytest, whatever we name, be it a file or define a function, always name should be starting with tests or should be ending with tests, either or vice versa. Okay, so to do it, what we need to import some packages. I will import time. Okay, this is package, and I will import from Selenium, import WebDriver. And to invoke Chrome browser, we need to import from Selenium excuse me, Selenium WebDriver .chrome. Okay, and service. I hope you all already know all these things. Okay, if you don't know, please go back and check other tutorials. Import service, this will be capital, and as Chrome service. Okay, Chrome service. And from, we need also driver manager, right? So from, I can say from WebDriver underscore manager, Chrome, import Chrome driver manager. Okay, now we are almost ready. Another we have to import, and that is by class, from Selenium WebDriver .common .by, and import by, this is capital, remember. And we are almost ready. Actually, I'm not importing Pytest right now. Actually, we can develop framework several ways. The simple ways, what we do, we just find out the elements, locate the elements, pass the parameters, okay, and execute the tests and check each and every functionality whether it is functioning as it's supposed to be functioning. Okay. Remember, then we can convert it into Pytest. This is one way. Another way, we can directly develop a Pytest. It might be a little intimidating for the newbies, so I want to first develop a simple test, then I will convert into Pytest. It will be easier to understand. Okay, so now what I can do, I can just start with creating a driver. We know driver is object. Actually, it can be anything, but by convention we have to name it driver. WebDriver dot Chrome driver, Chrome, and service equal to service, and it will actually help us to invoke Chrome driver. It will help us to invoke Chrome browser. Before it, what we have to do, we have to say service I'm sorry, service equal to Chrome service. Okay, and inside the Chrome service we have to say executable path, and in the executable path we will say Chrome driver manager, okay, parenthesis, and I will say install. We want to install it automatically. And now if I right button click and execute the test, it will invoke the browser. You see, Google Chrome browser invoked. Alright, fine. And then what I want actually, I want to tell driver to maximize the window. Okay, save it, and I can run it from here too, and I will see now it will be expanded. Maximize the window, it was just half earlier, now it has become expanded. Okay, fine. Now I can say driver implicitly wait for 10 seconds. I'm not using time, though I can use it, but when we use time, if I say time, okay, sleep 10 seconds, meaning whether web driver can find element within 3 to 5 seconds or not, it will sleep for wait for 10 seconds. But if we use implicitly wait, whenever the driver can find the element, say for example in just 3 seconds, it can find the element and locate the element, it will keep executing or running after 3 seconds. It will not wait till 10 seconds. This is the difference. Okay, now I want to say driver before driver dot maximize window, I can say here driver dot get the URL or web application or software we are going to test. In our test case, we are navigating to this web application, so I just copy the link and put it here, and now we will see we are navigating to Pytest.com. Now I can also run from here too. Right button click and run Python tests. Okay, in test_Pytest.py, expanding the window, and we are already in Pytest.com. Now next test case, test step is click on login button. I have to click on login button, so this is login button. I just have to find the element and locate the element. So right button click on inspect, okay, and click back on this inspector, this arrow, it is called inspector, okay, and click back in login, and it usually determines from which we are going to find the element and locate the element. Okay, I want to take XPath. Actually we can do it two ways. We can customize XPath, or we can just right button click and go to copy, then copy XPath. Let's see whether it works. If it works, I'm not going to spend much more time. please go a little back and try to understand how we can customize our XPath. Okay, maybe in the next coming session I will discuss a little more about customization of XPath. Okay, and I say driver dot find element by dot XPath. Okay, XPath comma, and inside the inverted comma we paste the XPath. Okay, and I just take an action. I will click. So let's see whether we can click. Okay, I can say time dot sleep 5 seconds because I want to be sure it's being clicked. Excuse me. Alright, invoking browser, navigating to utest.com, and it clicked. It clicked and we can come here. Actually, we can say 10 seconds and we can check. We can see whether it is being clicked or not. Actually, it is being clicked. Booking browser, navigating to utest.com, and yeah, it clicked. Okay, wonderful. Now next test step is enter correct username. No, sorry, enter incorrect. I don't want to show the correct username. Okay, incorrect username, and I say actually we can copy. Okay, to save our time I just copy, and still we don't know what we are going to use as our locators. Okay, so right here, and instead of click, now we have to pass the parameter. So I have to send keys. Okay, send keys, and next step also we will be using same code, and finally we have to click on the sign in button. Okay, this way we can save our time actually. Okay, but if you love coding and if you have enough time to do it, it's always better to code from scratch. Okay, but when we work in projects, sometimes we have some time constraints. We have to save time. In that case, we can just copy and paste the codes and we can customize as per the requirements. Okay, now we still don't know what locators we are going to use to find the elements. Okay, let's go and right button click on inspect, click back on inspector, then click back on email address field, and we find there is ID and name also. You can choose anyone. I choose ID, right button click, copy, and I'll say instead of XPath we are taking here ID as our locator, and value of the ID is username. Okay, and since it is incorrect, we can put incorrect username or Gmail address, gmail.com. okay, and we can check whether it can pass the parameter. It can send abcd@gmail.com in the field. Yes, we can see it did, it passed. And next, what we can do, we can just take the find the elements password field. Okay, just to make sure, click on the inspector, then click back on password field, and password, we can see ID here, but this time I want to take name, but you can take also ID. Then I want to show you just the variations. Okay, name, and the value is password, and incorrect pass, I can say ABCD 1 2 3 4. Obviously there will be test data, but we are using here dummy test data. And finally, we want to click on the button to get access right here. Okay, so what I can do, I can just click on the inspector and click back on sign in, and in the sign in we have class, name, login, ID is Casey-login. I'll take ID, or I can take CSS selector, just to bring change or little diversity. Okay, copy element, where is selector? Copy selector is CSS selector. Okay, again, we can also customize CSS selector too. Okay, I will show you later step by step. And we take locator, CSS locator, and value of CSS locator is this one. Okay, and click. Now I just save it, Control S, and let's see what happens. Our expected, yes, pass the parameter, and click, because it says invalid user and password, and our expected result is I can say expected results is user cannot log in, because we are using incorrect username and incorrect password. And actual result, after we test the application, we have seen actual result also same. Okay, so it's same, a user cannot log in, we have seen. So when excuse me, I'm so sorry, when we find expected results and actual result match or same, then test results become pass, right? So this is same, so our test case pass. Now we still don't know the actual result here, okay, but we can now just copy okay, and it will be, username will be correct. Okay, be a boss developers, developers.org, and it will be incorrect again. Okay, so this is our two test cases. Now I'm not going to execute it. I just want to develop a test case. Okay, sorry, I want to develop Pytest framework. Okay, I'm not executing it. I know it will be working. Okay, I just want to save your time. Okay, now at first, before we convert it into Pytest framework, what we have to do, we have to actually go to open in terminal and just say pip install Pytest, and pip install Pytest requirement already satisfied, already there, and I can check whether what are the packages do I have. Pip list, I can check the lists, and here are the lists I have right now on my computer. I have Pytest, I have Pytest HTML, Selenium, WebDriver Manager, and so on. Even I can say pip freeze to check including the versions all together. Okay, and what I can do now, I can just clear it. Since I have Pytest already, I can just import Pytest. Okay, to convert into Pytest, what I have to do, this is test setup, right? So I have to set up test, and to do it I will create a class and name of the class as test utest login. Okay, and this is class, and we know in Python whenever you create a class, everything will be inside the class wrapped. I just select and press on tab button one time, and everything goes inside the class now within the class scope. Okay, I hope you already know scope and Python class, how we create object. If you don't know, please go back a little back and check the tutorials I created 2-3 years ago in the forum. Okay, and now this is our test setup. Okay, I can keep note, this is test setup. Okay, and this portion is test case, and this is our second test case actually. And also we have test, we call it tear down, meaning test close. I can say driver dot close. Okay, and driver, we can also use quit. There is a subtle difference between close and quit. I have told you earlier in previous tutorials, please go and check. And now I want to set up the tests, so I have to define a function, and to create function or define function we use keyword def. Then name of the function will be starting with test, since it is Pytest. Test setup you can actually write in small cap or capital cap, it really doesn't matter. But when we define function, the name of the function should be by convention with small cap, okay, remember. And it will go inside the function, we know why. All right, by convention it will be within the function, within a functional scope, okay. And for every test case we must create functions. Each function considers a test case in Python related software testing, either in PyUnit test or unit testing or Pytest framework or BDD Behave framework, whatever. Okay, and I can say test underscore login functionality with correct username, no, incorrect, both are incorrect, with incorrect credentials. Actually you can name it anything, but definitely it should be meaningful. When I see the name, I can understand it is test on login functionality with incorrect credentials, so it's meaningful. And we have to wrap it within the function, within the functional scope. Now I want to create another function. I just copy to save time. Okay, usually we do it 80% we copy and 20% we code or program, okay. And we know with incorrect, actually with correct user and incorrect pass, okay, fine. And I just highlight it, okay, select it, then press on tab button. And in Pytest framework we don't have tear down. I cannot say we don't have, we have, but we keep it inside the test framework, and we use yield keyword, and just after the yield we put the tear down section. Now what it will do, the test will run the test setup first, then run the first test case, then run the second test case, and finally the tear down section will be running at the end of the test execution, though we are keeping it inside test setup. All right, I'm not sure whether I'm recording. Recorder is recording, okay, fine. I'm sorry, I forgot. Now what next? What we can do, we can now say at the beginning, you look, here is red mark, meaning the driver cannot connect with other drivers because this driver object is created inside test setup function locally. If you want to connect with these drivers, you have to say, you have to make the driver global. we can use global keyword and just write here driver, and now this global driver can connect all the drivers from any functions or any functions. You see now the error mark gone. Okay, well and good. We are almost done, but before we execute the test, we have to use the Pytest fixtures. I have to say fixture, okay, pytest.fixture. Then we have one more thing to do. We have to take the test setup for each and every test cases. After the salt parameter, we put the test setup, okay, and just like this. Now we are ready. Our Pytest framework is ready, and we can just type here py.test. If we have just one file, it's fine, just we need to write the command pytest or py.test. And you see, first test case run and it passed. We see a dot is green and another dot, so 2 test cases run and 2 test cases pass. And passing rate is 100%. Okay, fine, fantastic. Now we can use some more decorators. I can say Pytest, and this is smoke test. Say for example, even I can say this one is Pytest dot mark. Mark means I mark it as sanity test, say for example. Okay, this is smoke. Sorry, I have to say mark. Okay, and say for example I have another test case, and this is just for your understanding, it's out of the test case. Okay, just a minute. Okay, and this is, say for example, regression. Just I want to let you know how we develop our framework. Say for example, this is incorrect pass. Say for example, this is test case 3, because we cannot name same functions. Okay, just for you better understanding, I'm doing it. Actually, we can group our test like this: smoke, sanity, regression. There can be 50 test cases or 100 test cases in this project, and we can group them into smoke, sanity, and regression. Even we can skip the test if you want. Okay, we can skip the test, like we can say skip, we don't want to run this test, and we can give a reason. Okay, reason, and reason is this build is not yet stable, say for example. Okay, now if you run, we have 4 test cases. Okay, but 1 test case we want to skip, so 3 test cases will be running, executing. This is the first test case, wonderful, and pass. Second test case running, wonderful, pass. And third test case is running and it is passed. And one skipped, you see, one skip. And reason, we say this build is not stable. Okay, what's wrong with it? Okay, everything fine. Now I want to run only regression tests. What I can do, I can say m-m means mark again regression. I just want to run regression. 4 items, 3D selected means 3 are not running, only regression test is running. You see, 1 passed, 3 deselected. Now I want to run only smoke test. I can say the smoke, run only smoke test. 3 deselected again, so 1 test case will be running, that is marked as smoke, and this is passed. Okay, even I can run the sanity one only, and again it pass, it will pass. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, fantastic. Now suppose all are regression tests. Okay, we group as every test case regression. You can do it. And now I just want to run all regression tests. One deselected, meaning the test we are skipping is skip test. Okay, second regression test, and final regression test. Invoking the browser, navigating to utest.com, click on the login button, passing the parameters, and click and pass. So now we are going to install pip install Pytest-html is a software to prepare our test report. Okay, so we can print here something. Actually, in our test case we have also print, I guess, print title. So I'll say print driver dot title. Okay, and in another test case we have print driver dot current URL. Okay, fine. And in our test case we don't have this 2 test cases, so I just want to take it out. I want to go as per our test case. Okay, I just want to make sure it's running and printing current URL and the title. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Second test case running. This is the beauty of test automation. Very powerful set of tools. Okay, all right. Actually, to see this, to make it visible, I can say the current URL is I can say plus this, and I can say the title of the web application is wonderful. Okay, and we can run Pytest, and even we can, oh my goodness, sorry, Pytest. V is verbose. V stands for verbose, meaning we want to see a little all right, to warning. Okay, that's no problem. Test mark regression is typo. You can register Okay, let's ignore all these things right now. Okay, I hope you understand. Actually, we can prepare the test now. Okay, unknown test mark smoke. Why it's saying unknown, but it's working. Okay, this is regression. Okay, so we can group our test cases. That's the point. That's I want to show you. Okay, now I want to prepare or generate a report. So what I can do, I can import the package or piece of software we installed. This is Pytest underscore HTML. Okay, save it, and I'll say Pytest mark regression is our group. Actually, even if you don't mention it, still it will run the test. And I can say --HTML equal to report.html. This is the command, --HTML equal to report.html. So report.html file will be created here, and report will be available in this file. Okay, and just execute it, invoking the browser, navigating to utest.com, expanding the window. So quick, beautiful. Though my computer is a little slow, but execution of test is so quick. Now look at it, there will be new file. It takes a little time, maybe couple of seconds, like 10 seconds, 5 seconds. And if I click here, I see report.html, report has been generated. Okay, if I just click and right button click, open in browser, and I open in Chrome browser, here is our test report. We have 2 test cases and both are passed. It's a report generated on March 1st, okay, at 10:44 a.m. and on Pytest-HTML version 3.1. This, and environment is here. We have Java 1.8 to prepare report we needed. on our computer, and packages are this. Okay, Pytest 7.0.1, platform Windows 10, and we are using Python 3.10, and summary is here. Okay, if we skipped, even it will print how many test cases we skipped. If there is fail, there will be report on failure, test failure also. Okay, so this is so simple and very straightforward. I hope you all understand it. If you don't understand, please feel free to ask any question. Just write the questions below the YouTube comments. Definitely I can help you to learn Pytest framework. Okay, and I will also be posting it here in the community. You can also check it, and definitely I will also keep it in the article section where I developed a tutorial on Selenium with Python 2-3 years ago. I forgot actually when I did. I think 3 years ago. Okay, now I have been learning Python almost more than 6 years, 7 years I think, and I learned Selenium with Python 5-6 years ago. Actually I was trying to learn by myself, and finally in my previous project I was trained, a little trained with Pytest and BDD Behave, and in my current project I did have opportunity to learn extensively on it and apply it in our project, so I can share all of my experience. Maybe it might help many newbies. Those who are expert, definitely they can share too, and I hope you will be also exchanging your experiences, and we can learn from each other actually. Okay, Mother Teresa said, what you can do I cannot, what I can do you cannot, but together we can do something beautiful. All right, thank you so much. Feel free to ask any question. If you have any further question, you can shoot an email. This is my email, boss@bossdevelopers.org. Okay, all right, thank you so much.